Good morning, and thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. I am Maria Moreau here with Catch Up Quick, where we're catching you up on the latest that's happening in and around Metro Atlanta. First Alert Meteorologist Rodney Harris will be joining us here shortly to give you your weekend forecast. And let's just take a look outside right now. Beautiful weather that we're having. It's just something to be very grateful for, especially as you get more and more into your day today. Let's get you caught up on the stories that we're following right now. In Rockdale County, police in the city of Conyers are stepping up patrols after a recent shooting that really left the community on edge. Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm tells us that this isn't the only crime that the community has experienced lately. And like I mentioned, the community members really want their law enforcement to step up.
There have been 2 shootings here in the city of Conyers in recent weeks, and when you follow the police department's posts on social media, you'll see a lot of people here in this community are concerned. Take a look at this map. It shows you the location of the most recent shooting. There's now a $5,000 reward in this case. This happened in the Forest Villas subdivision. Police say there was a fight and that one person was shot and wounded. Last month, a woman was shot and killed after a domestic dispute. Police have arrested Arkia Tate for the murder of 24-year-old Kyla Cooper. Police tell us because of these shootings, you will notice more patrols in both areas this week. It's part of their community policing efforts. As for the most recent shooting, we are told police officers will return to the scene today to continue knocking on doors, looking for anyone who might have information that can lead them to the shooter. In Conyers, in Rockdale County, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
That officer lucky to be alive. He was wearing a bulletproof vest when this all went down, and that's being credited with saving his life. Now, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation lead on this investigation, and they've been here throughout the overnight hours. You can see right here, multiple agencies on the scene overnight, including the GBI, Clayton County, and Morrow Police. Here's what we've learned happened. Officers saying that they responded to a fight that broke out right around 9:30 last night in the parking lot of this Mexican restaurant along Mount Zion Road. They say that one of their officers confronted the suspect, and that's when the suspect turned around, pulled a gun, and shot the officer in the chest. The man ran off. That officer was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, thankfully wearing that bulletproof vest. Police say that a second officer ran after the suspect for several hundred feet and eventually shot him. He too taken to Grady. Now, speaking of Grady, when an officer goes down, there's often a huge show of support. And we saw that at the hospital when dozens of officers from multiple agencies showed up in support of their law enforcement colleague shot in the line of duty. We talked with Murrow's police chief. He says that his officer is going to be okay. The suspect as well, also going to be okay. Authorities have yet to release the identity of that suspect. That information likely coming from the GBI, now lead in this investigation. We're here in Clayton County. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
And we're getting a new look at body camera video from the hijacked bus that we reported to you last month. Atlanta News First obtained this body cam footage. I'm going to play that for you right now. This is showing the moments that Atlanta police ran into oncoming traffic to deploy spike stripes in hopes of saving as many passengers as possible.
GSP taken primary.
And some of that video audio will be muted as we take you through some of that body camera footage. You can see more of it on atlantanewsfirst.com. I just wanted to play a little bit of it for you here now. Just a horrific situation. Left a lot of people on I-85, a lot of those passengers truly traumatized. And of course, this is the suspect that you're looking at right here, Joseph Greer, who has since been arrested, taken into custody. As you can see, the moment of his arrest when police and authorities were able to apprehend the suspect, just a harrowing situation. The latest on what we know is that Greer shot and killed one of the passengers on the bus. That was 58-year-old Ernest Bird Jr. All of the other passengers were safely evacuated, and Greer now faces a number of charges, including murder, 14 counts of aggravated assault and kidnapping, as well as possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He will have a bond hearing in 2 weeks that we are going to bring to you here on Atlanta News First Plus. All right, and the hype and hope around the Fulton County Jail, where what was a hope to replace this decaying and overcrowded jail, is now dead. Fulton County commissioners scrapping the plan entirely last night. Atlanta News First reporter Patrick Quinn has the story.
I'm Patrick Quinn in downtown Atlanta, and today Fulton County leaders, they called this action tremendously significant. They have made an about face on how they're dealing with the crumbling conditions at the Fulton County Jail. No longer are they considering a replacement jail. Instead, they moved forward with an action plan to rehab the current facility. This is a look at the latest renderings of what that new jail would have looked like. $2 billion price tag, 3 separate buildings, one for men, women, and one for men with medical and mental health needs. This idea is now scrapped. Today, the Board of Commissioners approved to bring on a project manager to now oversee the rehab of the current facility with a budget of up to $300 million, which could include a new multi-purpose facility that could include medical and mental health needs. The county hopes the rehab will help extend the life of the facility. They said work could begin this time next year.
And taking you a little nationally, take a look at this video out of Houston, Texas. Over 1 million people in Texas still without power after Hurricane Beryl made landfall on Monday. Now frustrations continue to grow as the heat index in Houston hits 100 degrees. Georgia power line workers deployed to the Texas coast earlier this week to help restore power to those affected. This is all part of a long-standing mutual aid agreement. At least 20 trucks departed from their Union City facility. The American Red Cross of Georgia also sent 13 people. A really important reminder to be ready for severe weather when it hits and check in on your loved ones, your friends. And of course, if you can help out in any way, please do so. There are a number of resources online. But with that, I do want to talk about the local weather here in Atlanta. Beautiful weather outside. First Alert Meteorologist Rodney Harris has your forecast.
And good morning to you, Maria. I hope everybody's off to a good start to your Thursday. Let me tell you, it's been a remarkable morning here across Metro Atlanta. We've been talking a lot about this lower humidity that we would see, and that is exactly what we were feeling when you stepped out the door this morning. It felt more like fall than it did summer, and that is something that will stick around for us here over at least the next 24 hours. So if you liked this morning, you will like Friday morning as well. And even this afternoon on the right-hand side of that screen, those are your highs in the low 90s, right about average for this time of year. Even with us being in the low 90s, because the humidity is lower today, it'll still feel pretty pleasant out there. So enjoy today and enjoy tomorrow because we do have some changes coming. I want to talk about this front. So this front that is producing this nice weather. This moved through yesterday, brought in the drier air. What's happening here is this time of year, remember we're in hurricane season, so this time of year when you have these fronts that move off the coast and into the water's super warm, and so sometimes you'll get these lows that will develop along the front, and that's what we have happening here today and going into Friday. A little tropical low is trying to develop along the same front that is bringing us the drier air. So the National Hurricane Center has actually given this a 10% chance of development. We don't think that we're going to see a tropical depression or tropical storm out of this, but the reason I'm showing you is because regardless of tropical development, it's already producing rain, as you can see, and as that just kind of drifts or meanders off the coast of the southeast U.S., it looks like that will certainly produce some rain for our friends along the Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina, even the Georgia coast as we go into the weekend. More clouds and some rain as a result of that particular future. That won't impact us here in North Georgia, but again, if you were traveling toward the Carolinas or toward the Georgia coast this weekend, you will have some enhanced rain because of that particular future, and we'll keep you up to date on that. Closer to home, our weather's just going to be really nice for the next at least 2 days. Low 90s for highs, lower humidity humidity. Tomorrow morning will be just as nice as this morning was. By the weekend, we'll start to get the moisture back. So as of Sunday, with the heat and the humidity back, we'll introduce a slight chance of rain. That'll continue for much of next week. Also notice that those highs are back in the upper 90s by Sunday. 97 on Sunday, 98 on Monday, 97 Tuesday. That's near record heat for the beginning of next week. So enjoy the next 2 days because things do change in a big way next week. We also have our next best chance of rain in Metro Atlanta. That'll come on Wednesday at 50%. That's that coverage as of now. So those little 20% chances that you see Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, that's just because it's hot and humid and we can't rule out a stray shower or storm, which is typical for the summer. But Wednesday, we actually see some rain that could really be moving in, so we'll keep you up to date on that. We'll have an updated forecast on Atlanta News First at noon, always in the First Alert Weather app. We hope you guys have an amazing Thursday, and until next time, we'll see you soon.